Hello students, I want to remind you to prepare and organize your workspace. Make sure nothing's in your way and get out your magazine. And remember your jelly plate is sandwiched between two thin pieces of acetate, and we want one of those pieces to stay on the back today. We don't want your jelly plate to absorb the ink from the magazine. Your other piece should be tucked or hidden nicely under your messy mat or under your magazine so you can put it back on when everything's getting cleaned up. Now, last time we squirted paint onto the magazine. Today, I'm going to allow you to try to dab tiny amounts of paint onto your jelly paint. Look at how small these amounts should be. They should be like the size of your fingernail. Those were each maybe a bit too small, so it's taking a little while to even out the paint on my brayer. We want a pea-sized amount. This is a tiny, smaller than your fingernail amount of paint. And as we get more experience with these jelly plates, you get experience feeling what is the right amount of paint, what is too much. I started to feel on my brayer like it was too much, so I'm using my magazine to roll and get some of that extra paint off. So, something else you can experiment with today is allowing two colors to blend right on your jelly plate. And again, it should be a thin layer. You start to feel what is too much feel like and what is just enough feel like. And it's better to err on the side of not quite enough ink. You can always add more. All right, texture on our jelly prints. You can press a textured plate or bubble wrap or anything that has texture down, holding it firm and solid, trying not to slide. Although some cool things can happen when you let it slide. Feel free to experiment. Lifting it straight off, it leaves behind a texture.
Well, I'm sorry.
As usual, you're going to press down a paper to see what happens. We hold the paper still while massaging slowly from corner to corner, edge to edge, and then slowly lift it off. Awesome. So you can add more than one layer of ink to your print. There is a small amount of paint, perhaps too much. We'll find out by rolling. Turn your brayer into different directions, or like I'm doing, leaving it in one direction and getting a spotty effect. Very cool. It might be a little too thick. We shouldn't see like cake frosting any place, but we're gonna see how it turns out. With another tool, a stencil. Any stencil in the art room that is very, very flat and plastic, or anything you cut out of wax paper, can be used to mask part of the paint so that it doesn't go onto your paper. I'm going to put the print I just made down onto the jelly plate. Do the same, holding it still and massaging, edge to edge, corner to corner, and then peel it off. Wicked. All right. When you remove your stencil, sometimes there's a cool ghost image you can capture. When in doubt with jelly printing, make a print. Here I'm using the end of a paintbrush. You can also use a Q-tip to try making some marks in the paint and see what happens. This is all about experimenting, finding out what's awesome, finding out what works for you. Notice I'm not doing a lot of cleaning between colors. I'm watching how they blend. I'm not letting my color get muddy. Ooh, that's too much paint. And so it's spilling off the side and I'm wasting some, but I can still work with and use that paint by rolling it with my brayer a little bit later on. So here I am getting some of that excess paint by rolling onto my magazine. And I think the dispensers will have, ooh, there's too much paint again, way bigger than a fingernail. But you will start to learn as well how to use just the right amount of paint. So I'm using a lot of my magazine to get rid of some paint off of the brayer. And I'm going to try another stencil. Pushing the paper. And wow, look at what happened. So there's all these different techniques to try, and I'm excited for you to explore some more today. Don't forget to put your name on all of your prints and put them on the drying rack. A nice way of cleaning is by adding some sanitizer to any place where the paint has gotten dry, and just using different areas of your towel to clean.